episode 41. It's our last show of 2020, so we talk about our favourite whiskies, guests, and experiences of 2020.
Yes, we do, and we have a Zoom green room filled with guests from the past year to come on and talk about their favourite moments. And why are you looking at me blankly? And stop the music. Stop the music. What's up, Dave? What's up?
I forgot to send out the link.
You forgot to send out the Zoom link to all the guests for our end of year Whiskey and Things blowout. I've made the intro sound like a party. I re-recorded the theme music and everything. There must be someone turning up.
I mean, I don't even think I invited anyone.
Oh, for f***.
And as always, you can see some more whiskey-based content on all of our social media platforms at Whiskey and Things Podcast on Instagram and at Whiskey and Things on Facebook and Twitter.
And it would help us if you rate, review, subscribe, and press any other buttons you can find on all your podcast platforms. Your favourite ones, though. Okay, and your least favourite ones as well. Thank you. Glenn Living.
You're listening to the Whiskey and Things Podcast with Dave Giles and Nick Kent.
Welcome to episode 41. I'm Dave Giles.
And I'm Nick Kent.
Welcome to the Whiskey and Things New Year party. You know, this is going to be a real big party. I can feel it.
It's going to be an absolute rager. God, I can't move in here, in this Zoom space. I can't believe you forgot to send the invites out, Dave.
I'm just not very good at multitasking, am I? And I've had a lot of jobs to do this week. I don't know what they are, but I've had a lot of jobs to do this week.
I know what you mean. I've had a lot of jobs as well. I can't remember what they were. But hey, everyone, you know, there's more whiskey for us, you know. Less people.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. That is a good way of putting it.
There you go. No one likes sharing whiskey anyway. What? Sharing whiskey?
Exactly. We hope you had a lovely Christmas.
Yes.
But right now we're gonna be a bit retrospective today. We're gonna look back at some of our favourite things from 2020, which you may think is a hard thing to do, but we're gonna do it anyway because
we love a challenge.
We love a challenge. Exactly. We love a challenge. Well put, Nick. Well put.
Thanks, Dave. I did something good.
Sting me. Pa-pow!
Whiskey bots, roll out.
So, Nick, this week's whiskey.
All of them, Dave. All of them. All of them we've had all year. All of them, 40 episodes of wonderful whiskey. All of them.
So after the Port Charlotte being the whiskey of the year, have you got a whiskey of the year, or do you have particular highlights?
I've got some highlights. I'm turning around on my bar. That's why I'm pausing, everyone. I can't talk to the microphone.
In fairness, so Nick, that's a really good point. You think of, like, we started this in March.
Yeah.
We were obviously planning it before that. But you think of how much we've learnt this year about whiskey.
Oh.
It's ridiculous. Our knowledge of different brands, different types of whiskey, different countries that do whiskey. Like, our eyes have been opened massively, and so have our mouths.
Jinx.
In which, and the whiskey has poured down them.
But we did drink responsibly the entire time. We couldn't afford to drink irresponsibly, to be honest.
Well, no, that's a very good point as well. That is a very good point. But, you know, I think I'm going to list some whiskies that I've never heard of. I'd never even heard of before this year.
Okay.
Which I think is great. But go on, you go first.
Well, the one that springs to mind for me is the Westland for me. Again, a brand I hadn't heard of before. Yes, we've both got the Garryana 5 here, which is beautiful. But I think for me, my whiskey just springs out for me is their American oak single malt, which I don't have a bottle of. So I'm going to have to settle for the Garryana 5 to have a little taste. Oh. Sucks to be me, everyone.
Do you know what, this that episode we had featuring Westland was amazing, and this Garryana 5 is amazing. But for me, again, I'm going to choose the other one. The Garryana 4 for me was probably my favourite whiskey I've ever had. Wow. I saw it in a shop recently. It was at 190 quid, and I was like, oh. No, I can't do it. Yes. But I'm so happy that we've at least got the Garryana 5 because it is damn good. So I'm going to have a little sip of this now. But Westland, I mean, I wasn't even aware that America did single malts. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I wasn't even aware that was a thing. And now it's all I want to talk about. It's have you,
Well, you
ever tried?
automatically say Scotch after single malt, don't you? That's why
You do.
I made the mistake of that in the actual episode, I think. Of course, we had Matt Hoffman, co-founder and master distiller, on the show back in episode 35. Which seems ages ago, but that's not actually that long ago, is it?
It's not that long at all, Nick. It's not that long at all. But yeah, I'm glad you picked that one out because and that American oak is good and that bottle's quite affordable actually. So maybe they also that
65, 75 quid.
Yeah.
More affordable than these ones. But
I got another one which I think we both really enjoyed sitting here, and that was the Hibiki.
Oh yeah, that was I love
Suntory
that.
time.
Absolutely.
So good.
Yes.
So good.
We started off with a great Japanese whiskey for our first Japanese whiskey.
Yeah.
What did we do? No, what did we do? When did we do the Nika? That was afterwards, wasn't it?
I think that was afterwards.
Yeah, that was episode 33, the Nika.
But the Suntory is just delightful. Absolutely amazing, the Hibiki. And do you know what? Every time I now look in whiskey shops, you see the more expensive Hibiki range, like the really expensive Hibiki range. I'm like, I wonder what that is like. But just the bottle we've got, the almost high street Hibiki, it's just so good. It's so good.
I think I know her. She's from Bromley, right? No. Yeah.
What else are you looking down your list at?
You know what? As it's Christmas, I'm going to take us right back to episode 1.
The Freud. You're loving the Freud 10, are you?
No. I love the Lafroig 10, don't get me started. But as it's Christmas, or even New Year, and it's been a bad year, these are unopened. I'm going to open one of my bottles, which I brought back from the New Zealand whiskey collection.
No, you're not.
I'm going to try a little bit of Omaruvian, Dave, because I can see it's been a year and it's already starting to evaporate a bit. So whiskey is for drinking, so I'm going to crack it open now, because why not?
Well, while you do that, I'll talk some more about some of my favourites from this year then. So there's some that I don't have bottles for, Nick, which is slightly annoying because we only had the smaller ones. I really want to try the Cotswolds again.
The Cotswolds, yeah, we were a fan of that, weren't we?
When we had that, I remember being blown away by that and was really impressed. And that was our first English whiskey. And I definitely want more of it. I know I want more of that, which also then leads me on to Bimber. We'll talk more about Bimber later, but I've got that bottle of the Recharred Oak one here. I might open that in a little bit and have a little sip of that when we.
I was thinking about doing that as well. To be honest.
Yeah.
Hey, there might be a slot for that later on, Dave. We don't know.
Absolutely. I got a birthday present this year from Hannah Beasley, and the Balvenie Caribbean Cask 14 year had been one of my favourites.
Yes.
Absolutely one of my favourites.
You love that. You love that so much.
It's amazing. It was such a great bottle. But then, Nick.
Yes, mate.
Swedish whiskey. Never heard of it before.
Swedisky. No.
We'd never heard of it before.
Mackmyra.
Didn't know that was a thing. Mackmyra.
I know. And we've been lucky to have Richard McKeon on a couple of times as well.
I've now had 5 different Mackmyras because 2 of them were in my advent calendar.
Of course. You had the Winter Garden this week or something?
Yeah, the Winter Soul or whatever it was called.
Winter Sun or whatever, yeah.
And the Intelligens was that. I loved that bottle of Intelligens.
Yeah.
And your yak liquor.
So I was a big fan of the yak liquor.
The yak liquor is, I think that's my favourite one we've had.
Of theirs,
of the Mackmyras. That was really delightful. Yeah, maybe one day I'll be able to get a bottle. Maybe one day I'll get a bottle of that as well. But yeah,
one day, sir. Please, sir. Can I have some more whiskey?
Oh, I mean, when we started this, I would have said I was a bourbon man, right?
Yes.
Love my bourbon.
Oh, mate,
we haven't actually done that much bourbon, but I'd say my favourite bourbon I had is one I had in the Advent calendar, actually.
Okay.
And it was the Uncle Nearest.
Oh, yes. Yes. We haven't had that. Well, I haven't had that.
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
Super sweet. But yeah, it was everything I wanted from a bourbon.
Okay, good. They're quite a new company, I think.
That's weird because it's called the 18 Uncle Nearest 1856 premium whiskey, isn't it? But that doesn't mean that's might have been taken over. Exactly. We've talked about numerous whiskies that have a year on them that they're like, oh, this was only started putting out whiskey 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I know they launched the Nearest in Jack initiative this year, or I think it was this year or last year with Jack Daniels, trying to kind of improve equal opportunities in whiskey, which is fantastic. I didn't actually research into them as much as I should have because, well, we haven't done an episode yet. But yes, interesting company and great whiskey, it seems, though.
Yeah. And I have one more from my advent calendar, which I had, Nick, which is something looking forward we need to do.
Okay.
It was a Frisky.
Of course. Yes, the Frisky.
A French whiskey. It was called Brenne, Brenne. And it was delightful. That's all it says, Brenne whiskey. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Really? In what way? What were the qualities of that? What did it remind you of?
If anything, it was similar to the English whiskies simply because it had that big fruitiness, that big openness.
Orchardness.
Yes, they clearly were doing something different style. They weren't stuck to the rigid nature of Scotch making. So they were able to do something slightly different. I'd never had a flavour profile like it. I really loved it, and I really want us to do it. So it's on my list of things that I want to do in 2021 is I want the two of us to have a good tasting with that and look more into that company and find out more about French whiskies because I didn't even know that was a thing.
No, I reckon there's a load of countries to do whiskies. We just don't know about.
For sure. I know France is a big whiskey market. I think Matt Hoffman said that France is a great whiskey market. He spoke a bit about France when we spoke to him.
Well, they're the biggest consumer of blended whiskies. No, they're the biggest consumer by volume.
Right.
America is the biggest consumer by cost because they get more single malts going over there.
Interesting. That's really interesting.
Value was the word I was looking for there. Yes.
So that's where I am. I really want to get some more of the Cotswolds stuff in, and I can't believe how much more. Yeah, I just can't believe how much whiskey I now know about. Like, I now feel like when there's a whiskey conversation going on, I know what I'm talking about a little bit, or I've got a bit more. I'm still not an expert by any means, but 40 episodes in, I've got a bit more of an understanding of what is going on. And where things are and what to look out for.
But there's so much
flavour
to learn.
profiles.
There's so much to learn. See, I did my Edinburgh Whiskey Academy course, or a few of them now, and just learning a different thing every time. And I kind of go back to them, and you're just learning words, and it's kind of fitting bits of a massive puzzle together, and you might have a piece in, but then that piece might just be left out again, a few weeks later if you haven't looked at that piece for a while, if you know what I mean. But there's so much to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I still feel. I know we had Greg Dillon on from Great Drams, but I still think for you and I as well, the independent bottler thing is something we need to look more into and really learn more about that and get to know more of those, because I think that's going to open our palates up to a whole different set of flavour profiles as well. Anyway, how's that Omaruvian? What's it like, Nick?
The Omaruvian, little flashback for everyone. Because I never mentioned it. End of last year, I was in New Zealand, and that was where we kind of were putting together the first episode. And I went to the New Zealand whiskey collection in Oamaru, where I spoke to Matt Wicks, the guy there, and I came away with 4 of their whiskies. And I've not touched them since last November. They've been on my shelf. So I've just opened up the Omaruvian. It's such a colour. Look, it looks like
red. It's red wine.
It looks like treacle. Well,
it looks like port.
Yes, mate. As soon as I put it in my mouth, it just coated you kind of had that tannin feel of red wine you get. Because apparently when it was this was finished in red wine casks, and apparently they come from like the North Island or just up the road in, they are New Zealand red wine casks. So they're practically dripping, apparently. They're soaking wet when they put the whiskey in there. And you can just tell it's absolutely wonderful. It's nothing we've had else this year, because it's just absolutely fresh red wine kind of married together. Oh, wow. It's a 55.88, very accurate, 18-year-old. And that is fantastic. Yeah, it does taste a bit like port, actually. And dates. There's a lot of dates going on in there.
Interesting.
Yeah, but juicy, I don't even like dates. Prune kind of vibe. Anyway. Oh, wow.
Well, maybe one day I'll get a little sample of that as well. a tiny little flavour of that would be lovely.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's why I'm kind of saving it. I say it was finished, right? It was aged in American oak, ex-bourbon casks for 6 years, then finished in French oak, ex-New Zealand red wine casks for 12 years. So it's finished for twice as long.
12 years.
Yeah, for twice as long as it was actually in the oak thing. So yeah.
That's amazing.
Cask strength. Anyway, the Army Reviewing, that whole trip was fantastic. But hang on, what else have I got up here, which was brilliant? I'm going to give a prize. My favourite everyday drinker of the year is Buffalo Trace.
Oh,
I love it.
Interesting.
I love it. Love the stuff. Goes in everything. But yeah, for sure, the yak liquor as well for me was fantastic.
Yeah, yak liquor was a real delight.
But yeah, in terms of the one that stood out the most for me was that Westland Oak single malt. So. Absolutely.
That what a great company, and so lucky we had Matt, our first master distiller on as well.
I can't believe we've been. Well, we'll talk about the caliber of guests in a minute, but I'm very pleased with the way things are going, and I feel very lucky to have spoken to people such as him.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Let's leave our whiskies out. We'll carry on drinking. I've just poured my last bit of Balvenie. Yeah, the last drop for my Christmas party.
In the name of the bourbon, the blends, and the single malts. Amen.
Thanks for that whiskey, God. That was nice.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. And we've really pushed the boat on the blasphemy on this show as well. Whiskey and blasphemy. That should be what we're called. Oh, amazing.
Oh, well,
amazing. So, yeah, you talking about being in New Zealand there. When we start, the whole point of this podcast was that we were going to have outings and be able to be out and about and try different things. And
yeah,
obviously
that's true.
It's amazing that we've got to episode 40 and not, we've only been able to do it the once.
Yeah, both of us together, obviously.
Together, yeah. And I think that's mainly down to you. So you've done a great job on keeping us on the straight and narrow there. But that one outing we had though, Nick.
I felt very lucky to be able to go out on that outing, to be honest.
Absolutely.
To the Bimber Distillery in Park Royal in London.
Just down the road from where I live, literally walking distance.
Yeah, I had visions of like going up and doing, a tour of Isla, and doing all the, maybe going over to doing the Texas whiskey trail, around Texas, funnily enough. Or it might be Austin, I'm not sure. And going over there, of course, to Kentucky. But, Park Royal, mate, I would settle for that with the year we've had. And it was a wonderful day.
But the thing is, though, you would then... It's ironic, isn't it? Because Park Royal is not a glamorous location at all. It's an industrial estate in West London.
But we found out it's the centre of the whiskey world in England.
It is apparently the centre. Yeah. There's all the whiskey companies there. But isn't it incredible that such a great whiskey or such great whiskies are coming out of that place?
Yeah. It's great. But again, it doesn't matter where you are, does it?
No, how lucky were we to be able to go there as well and enjoy it and get that smell. I mean, I was buzzing for a week after that. Obviously, this year not being able to do much, but having that one opportunity. But if we were going to have one outing, what an outing.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. It was so personal, just so intimate. We had a great chat, obviously, with Matt Mackay of Bimber when we were there. And we just felt very welcome. And we learned a lot.
To be able to watch it all going on while we were there was just amazing as well. And, I feel very lucky that we got to do that, and it opened up a new world. We're now both in the Bimber Club.
We're on the Bimber Club.
We are definitely converts to the Bimber clan.
We could not be a member of the Whiskey Club for our local, or your local. It was my local. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whiskey distillery, as it were.
Absolutely. Support local and all that kind of stuff. And they're just doing really good stuff. But if that is a flavour, if that outing is a flavour of what we've got to come as we get up and running when the world goes back to some form of normal, then God, this show's going to be all right, isn't it?
Yeah, seeing as we're stuck here now, we can't even get off the island. You know, we're going to have to kind of go to do all the English distilleries and, you know, and make our way up to Scotland eventually. Looking forward to it.
Maybe go out to Penderyn.
Wales. Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. No, that would be great.
Fun, that
would be fantastic.
Could be fun.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I'm excited by all of that, and what a great day out that was. How lucky were we?
We were. So I'm reminiscing. You know, if I was to make this into a video, I'm looking up at the moment, and you see the wavy lines going, and then someone will have to slap me to get me back in the room. But that's been, you know, we've had one outing and it was fantastic, and the whiskey's great. I haven't opened my bottles yet.
I haven't opened the new one, but I have opened the one that we got when we were there. I've only had a tiny amount, but
you know what? As it's Christmas, I might open mine now.
All the whiskey tonight, God,
dude. Whiskey's for drinking, and this is as close as I get, okay, to drinking with another person, apart from when Danny Gruff is around with his lovely lady Naomi.
In your social bauble?
In my social Christmas bauble. It's good, that. I like that.
See what I did there?
I did see.
You're welcome.
Comedy gold.
You are welcome. Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I've got a good cork. Well, we can't have the end of year blowout without a cork sound.
Oh, I had a squeak.
That was fantastic. You're welcome, America, and whoever listens. England.
Stay classy. San Diego. Oh, dear.
Right, there it is. Okay, a little sniff of this. For the listeners, we're just drinking ourselves here. The recharred oak casks, Bimber. This is char level 4. Fantastic. Mine is bottle number 96 of 5,000. It's a 51.9% ABV.
Mine's number 94. Not bragging, but
there it is. Yeah, I know. You got in there. Well, we bought them at the same time. Just saying.
I've nearly finished my bottle of gin as well that I got from there, which is now sold out on the website. Don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see that.
I went to get some for my dad for Christmas, but
there is that Bimber smell, that fruity, beautiful kind of.
Oh, just takes you right back to being there, doesn't it?
It does. That long fermentation.
Oh, amazing.
I'm not using my glass. Got to use my Bimber glass, everyone.
And of course, when you're drinking it, it does not feel like that's 50-odd%, does it?
No, absolutely not. Good Lord. If you hadn't said that, I wouldn't have even
you forget,
about
don't you? You forget that, what is it, 57?
51.9.
51.9%. I mean, that's nuts.
It is nuts.
It doesn't have that vibe to it at all. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, I'm glad to have opened that now because, you know, I've over this year as well, for the show, to have a nice background on the videos and stuff, and, you know, just for my flat really, because I'm here all the time, it's stuck in now, obviously.
It does look great.
I've made some improvements to my flat and my bar, and I've got bar shelves and stuff, and I have got a bit obsessive with how it looks, if you know what I mean, rather
the
than
aesthetics of your whiskey bar.
Yes, you know, like rearranging bottles on it, and, you know, having them in groups, because if you'll notice, Dave, behind my fat head here,
are they in regions? Have you got your Islers together? You do.
Not only do I have my Islers together, I have them in geographical position to where they are on the road.
Amazing.
I have the Lafroig's on the left, Lagavulin's in the middle, and the Ardbegs furthest east, which is the way they are on the island.
Brilliant.
So
brilliant.
It's all about the details.
And the Highlands on the top shelf and the Lowlands on the bottom shelf. Because if you've not done that, then you've really cocked up.
At the moment, yes. That is how it is at the moment.
Amazing. Was that intentional, or has you just got away with that?
No, it's just subliminal. That's the way it was. The whiskey gods. Whiskey gods probably moved them around, or like told me to do that. Yes, we've both got a nice new Lowland recently, which was a lovely gift from a friend of the pod, Rish. So we thank Rish very much. We both got a Bladnock, single malt, and a blended whiskey each from there as well. So we'll look forward to trying those. Again, thank you, Rish, for those.
Yeah, thanks, Rish. Thank you very much. But yeah, so that's, we hope to have had more outings to be able to discuss. But, we're happy with our one outing. Great company, great whiskey. Keep an eye out for Bimber.
If there's anyone out there who has any kind of outings we could do in the next few weeks,
yes,
months.
please. Oh, actually, yeah. If you can suggest a good whiskey tour or something near you, we'd love to know about it, because we want to do it all once the world reopens. We want to do all of it.
We want to do all of it.
All of it.
We will walk 500 miles.
And we might even walk 500 more.
We probably would,
Anyway, sting me.
Nice suit, nice scotch. It'd be a shame to ruin it.
Rickman's back.
Short and sweet from Rickman there.
He was a great guest, wasn't he, when we had him on?
Alan Rickman, yeah, one of the top guests, I think. Yeah, but, in terms of guests who are actually alive, you got any highlights, Dave? Obviously, everyone was effing fantastic. Very lucky to have people on. Thank you, everyone who did come on.
Apart from Danny Gruff, no one listened to him.
No one listened. What was that? Episode 5? No one listened to that, did they?
Least listened to.
Least listened to podcast.
Still.
Is it still?
Yeah,
surprised me.
Even as people are like going back to the beginning and having their marathons, it's almost like they get to episode 5 with Danny Gruff. Nah, I'll give that a miss.
Oh, God.
No, we have had some great guests on this year. The podcast is kind of split into two. It's the kind of like pre-whiskey show and after whiskey show. And going forward, we'll probably have to readdress that balance a little bit. But pre-whiskey show, it was all very much guests. Other than Richard McKeon, I think, it was all guests of like our friends and entertainment people, some of whom like whiskey, some don't. And then after whiskey show, it's all been whiskey people, which is great.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're all excellent. And as I say, if we can try and get a bit more of a blend, we can do some fine blending of guests over the year.
Put all the guests into a big pot and marry them together.
Exactly. But yeah, we've had some wonderful guests. I have an update. Do you remember we had Charlotte Campbell on?
Yeah.
Do you remember that she was saying how she wasn't keen on whiskey?
Yes. And, tastes like death, wasn't it? Or was that the PT one, wasn't it? Yeah.
She has revealed to me that she has, since that show, tried an old-fashioned and thought it was incredible.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, see? It's just the way you drink your whiskies.
Find your drink, find your cocktail. There's a whiskey for everyone.
So now she needs to have the bourbon neat, or the rye.
Exactly.
Neat.
Exactly.
She needs to move in that direction.
If she never does, if she only ever has an old-fashioned...
No, she's not coming on again unless she drinks it neat. Miss Campbell, if that is your real name. Probably is. It's a completely normal name. Lovely name. But we've had some fantastic people. Obviously, like from the whiskey world, we've been very lucky. We mentioned him earlier on. We're very lucky to have Matt Hoffman on. Richard McKeon a couple of times. Greg Dillon, fantastic.
That was great. I loved that interview.
We learned so much. Of course, I'm not forgetting, we've had Billy Abbott on.
Willie Whiskey himself.
Yep. Billy's naughty step. We were on. But no, we've it's been great. Not only that, we've had people on who, we've had Stuart Baxter and Peter Jones from Chokiski. Who would have thought we'd have a chocolate company on, Dave?
Yeah. I would never have guessed that. One of my favourite interviews I did this year was with Kevin Martin of Candlebox. I loved that interview. He was so good. He was so knowledgeable about whiskey, and he's, obviously he's a legend of the music industry, and getting him to be able to talk about both things was just great. And his passion for whiskey was just as evident as his passion for music and performing. And I think that he was almost the perfect guest that mars those two worlds we've been trying to get together.
Yeah,
I suppose Dean DiCioso as well does that very well as well. But we know he's a close friend, so. Whereas Kevin was a bit of a surprise. There was an X factor there that we weren't sure what we were going to get, and we got some it was amazing what we got. So
Yeah. Mary Spender as well. She loved the whiskey,
Yeah, loved that. Loved
talked
that.
about that. We kind of wished at the end of that interview we'd kind of talked about whiskey more, didn't we?
Yeah.
One of my favourite episodes was the Robbie Coles one.
Oh, Robbie was amazing,
wasn't he?
Oh, we need to get him back.
Yeah.
When we do the bad blends, we need to get him back. What was he drinking? High Commissioner, wasn't he? The cheapest whiskey you could find.
Wow, it's 40%. That was a great moment. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, beautiful.
He's just that was. I forgot how good that was. That was so much fun.
We left him
that was
waiting
just
in
a
the green
great
room
50
too.
minutes, wasn't it? That was a great 50 minutes.
Robbie's always a highlight of anything we do.
He's just wonderful. What a human being.
Yes.
What a human being. So then we got a few things that we got planned for next year as well. So we got some more whiskey people from different backgrounds, some independent bottlers again, and hopefully as the year goes on, we'll get some other distillery people as well. That would be our plan, and some more, just more of our friends and entertainment people or people from any direction of life who have whiskey stories that they might want to share or that we think are interesting. Yeah. So we have a few things planned.
Yes, hopefully. And as well, there's this whole whiskey. I don't want to use a scene. I don't want to use the word scene. That sounds like it's like an emo band scene.
The whiskey world.
Whiskey world. Yeah, there's obviously a lot of other kind of podcasts and shows and stuff as well. So,
of course. Collabing.
Yeah.
Old school.
Yeah, we chat to a few of those. So it would be great to kind of do like a little collab with them as well, Well, it'd just be fun, wouldn't it? That's the whole point of it. It's all fun,
Absolutely.
So look out for those as well. A few things in the pipeline there, hopefully.
Yep.
But yeah, it's going to be a good time. Don't know why I just stuttered so much. It's probably this because I've got 3 whiskies on the go at the moment, mate.
Mate, this Bimber's so good.
I've got a Westland, an Omaruvian, and a Bimber.
That's an expensive round you got right there.
There's 3 whiskies here which aren't under 50%.
No wonder you're stuttering.
I know.
When you come to edit this, you're going to be like, what happened there? Can't remember this segment at all. But everyone, you'll be pleased to know that the Red Baron has not come out.
No.
If anything, he's gone away.
He's matured. He's gone on. Yeah, he's gone on to other projects. Yeah, I was his first album.
If you, dear listener, have a highlight or a particular guest that you enjoyed, or someone you'd like to hear more from who we've had before, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to know who you really enjoyed, because I guess that's what matters at the end of the day, isn't it?
Doesn't matter if we enjoy it. It's up to you, really.
Yeah.
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 Give us some feedback.
Talking of guests, there's one who...
This is the Whiskey God, interrupting this transmission to wish all my whiskey bots a very happy 2021. Sure, 2020 has been a challenging year for us all, but if you work together as a species, I know that you'll be sharing a dram together with loved ones very soon. In this time of trial and tribulation, I implore you to find comfort in the poignant words of the great philosopher R. Burgundy. He once said, I love Scotch. I love Scotch. Scotchy, Scotch, Scotch. Here it goes down into my belly.
Whiskey?
He's making a habit of that now, isn't he? Interrupting our transmission.
It's what he does.
Yes.
But, sometimes it's quite entertaining.
It is entertaining. I'm just going to pour myself some yak liquor, mate, because, it's Christmas.
Do it. So we're coming to the end of another show. As we're coming to the end of a year.
We are. And what a year. It's been a challenging year.
It's been an odd year.
It's been a very odd year.
Not the year that we intended when we started this podcast. And, when we started it, we were like, we'll do 6 weeks at home before we start doing things.
Yeah, we just get in our groove.
Find our feet.
Yep, get in our stride, as it were. Well, we're up to speed, I think, now.
Absolutely. Ready to roll now. And the good thing is we now know how to do this when we don't have anything to talk about as well, which is equally as useful.
I'm still terrible at it. I do a lot of notes for this, people, because I like to have my facts straight, because I hate listening back to an edit and then going, you know what, that's not right. You got that wrong. It might be the smallest little detail, but I'm like, no, get that out of there. I'm pretty bad. Don't like giving people information which isn't correct. I'm hoping, listeners, it's been at least factually correct, for this time.
Particularly when we've talked about the 4 wise men. I particularly thought that was very factually correct.
Oh, that's completely correct.
That.
Yeah, the 4 wise men, yeah. The whiskey god was the 4th wise man.
Exactly. Exactly.
That part, it's a documentary, that bit. It's not made up. It's a documentary.
Anyway, Nick, what have we got planned for the first episode of 2021?
I have no idea.
Episode 42. We haven't actually talked about this, have we?
No, we haven't. No, I have no idea. It's completely up in the air. It's fantastic. It's fresh. It's going to be great. Whatever it is, listeners. Can you tell we've done 2 in one day, and it's like now a long time before we do the next one.
Tune in next week to find out what we're doing.
Tell you what, we might do a little infomercial on Instagram, running up to it to let you know what's going to be in it. Maybe.
Oh, we won't. Oh, we might not.
Or we won't.
We might just wait until it drops on the 5th of January or wherever that may be.
Yeah. Or we won't. I'm just going to drink 4 whiskies, 4 massive, lovely 50% whiskies, and see what happens.
Well, I'll do it with you then. I'll sit here and drink with you.
Fantastic.
I've got a few on the go as well.
Yeah.
But for now, listeners, we're going to love you and leave you. Thanks very much for all your support this year.
Yes.
If you've listened to every single one of the 41 episodes, you're a hero. If you've only listened to this very one or only 1 or 2, thanks very much. You've got a lot of catching up to do. If you're a member of our Patreon page, you are absolutely delightful people, and we're very, very grateful for your support. We hope to or if you've come and gone with that, that's fine as well. Anyone who's supported us by buying T-shirts or whatever you've done, you're helping us trying to make a better show. And,
thank you very much.
We really appreciate that, and we're trying to think of new ways in which we can reward you as well, and get you involved going forward. So, plenty of stuff to look forward to. Hopefully.
Yeah.
We've got loads of things planned that we hope to be able to pull off soon enough, because we're quite good at pulling things off, aren't we, Nick?
We're great. We're the masters.
Master puller-offers.
Master pretenders. That thing.
But yeah, thanks very much for listening. We hope you had a good Christmas period, and Happy New Year to you all. Let's hope that next year is better than this one we just had.
Happy New Year, everyone.
And cheers.
Thanks for coming.
Whiskey and Things has been brought to you by And Things Productions.
I read about them in Time magazine.